What is up, y'all? Another day, another ridiculous thing going on in the world. Anyway, before we get started today, do you guys like my hair? I just got it done yesterday, and I'm kind of in love with it. It's pink and purple and turquoise, if you can see it in there. Anywho, excuse me. Today, we are going to be talking about something very suspicious going on in the Great Republic of Texas. So, I want to talk about the Texas wildfires going on. So, if you guys have been paying attention to the news at all, the entire Texas panhandle is on fire right now. And you might be thinking, well, Savannah, it's the South, and you guys live in like a desert. Like, what did you expect? No, okay? The Texas Panhandle are known for beautiful green grass and rolling hills. It's basically a bunch of farm fields. A lot of our food comes from there. Oh, and another thing, if you guys live in Texas, especially Central or North Texas, you will know that this season has been especially rainy. Like, we go week by week with usually it being partially muddy. It literally rained this morning, and now the arena and the barn is kind of a muddy pit again. So, am I saying that these wildfires were intentionally started or are suspicious? Yes. Yes, I am. That is exactly what I'm saying right now. So, today, in Texas, over 850,000 acres are up in flames. And as of right now, Greg Abbott has officially labeled this a natural disaster. All right, those are the facts. One person has died, and hundreds of thousands of cattle and horses and farmland property are presently being burned to the ground. I'm not exactly sure what the death count is on all of the animals, but from what I can tell from TikTok, it is going to be some staggering high numbers. And in the future months, we will probably see the price of Angus beef go up significantly because those are the cows that are being affected most by this. So, I kind of want to just go straight into this TikTok that I saw that basically sums up all of my crazy conspiracy theory thoughts on this whole situation, because I do think it's rather interesting that the one state that kind of like said absolutely no to Joe Biden is the one presently being burnt to a crisp. And we kind of saw this same thing play out in Hawaii recently. So you know what? Let's just
Anybody else find it kind of suspicious how the one state in the United States that wasn't going for all this BS is now on fire, and the fire just happens to be a little bit close to some nuclear stuff?
That's what I'm saying.
That it's burning about 2 football fields every couple seconds because of the high winds and how dry it is. Now, I find that a little funny, but what y'all think?
Okay.
Anybody else find it?
I absolutely agree with that. So, if you guys noticed, he mentioned the nuclear power plants. So, in Texas today, and honestly, all across the world, nuclear energy has been a very controversial topic. And I don't really care which side of the fence you're on when it comes to nuclear energy, but all I'm going to say is politicians and the elitists don't seem to want us to have it, but they are absolutely okay using it themselves. And the second anything like that just kind of like mysteriously falls into place, I don't know, there's just something a little bit sus about it. So as of right now, they actually, if I understand this correctly, did a partial evacuation of non-essential personnel due to these quote-unquote wildfires, according to an internal situation report from the Department of Homeland Security's Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency. Does anyone else just not go, there's something more to this? Like, at this point in 2024, haven't we learned to take everything that they do with just not even a grain of salt? Like a whole-on cup of salt? And you might be like, Savannah, you're literally just crazy right now. This is like just a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences, because coincidences imply that there is not an all superior power that's looking over everything, and that it is simply just fate. Destiny, the will of the universe. And as a Christian, I don't believe in that at all. I believe there's an all-powerful God above it all, and I absolutely 100% believe that there are some shady and crazy politicians, elitists, Freemasons, Illuminatiists, whatever you want to call them, that are pulling the strings when it comes to the government operations and things that are going on in the world. It's just all too coincidental. We could do an entire show dedicated to this, but, I'll stop. I swear. Anyway, the facility is located approximately just 13 miles from the Windy Deuce fire in Moore County. This is literally like my backyard right now. Thankfully, my horses are good, my animals are good, all my friends' animals are good right now. But y'all, these suspicious fires that have been going on in the world all across it, I don't know. I just... Oh, also, they're not exactly sure how these wildfires originally got started in the Panhandle right now. I'm dying of smoke. Anyway, the guy in the previous video had mentioned that it's been really dry. Yeah, some of the area in the Panhandle is just constantly dry. I mean, we are partially a desert, but some of these parts that are up in flames have been watered significantly. My area actually being one of them. Like I said, it literally rained this morning. It's been raining for a good while. We actually had 2 weeks straight in early January where it was raining every single day, which as Texans and any farmer or somebody who works in agriculture knows, we absolutely need all of that rain in the spring, because once it gets to mid-July and August when it's 110 degrees out and everything is dead and brown, we need all of that moisture in the ground as much as we possibly can, because it will absolutely the sun just eats it up. All right, next thing. I want to talk about these suspicious cars. Now, listen, I'm not an arsons expert. I am just somebody who has a brain and who likes to be observant and pay attention to detail. You could blame the woman in me. That's inherently a female trait, so I've been told. But anyway, these cars look like Lahaina, okay? They look like Hawaii. And you know what? Actually, for comparison, I should have had this up earlier. Cars in Hawaii. Please don't get on my spelling, okay? But they just look exactly like them. Let's bring this up. Bring up images. All right. Let's just go straight to the very first photo that comes up. Come on, internet. There we go. All right, so these are the cars in Lahaina. This is a picture of a car in Texas. And at first glance, you might think, Savannah, what am I looking at? It's a burnt car. And you know what? I'm totally willing and capable to put the conspiracy theorist label on me, but all I'm saying is, why does nothing blue ever burn these days? It's just weird. Okay, I learned back in 2nd grade physics class that darker colors get hotter faster and burn at higher rates than lighter ones. There's a whole scientific explanation behind it, but just for time's and argument's sake, just think of it as the darker colors are more of a void that absorb all of the sunlight and the heat, and it just attracts the flames. That's why when you wear black in the middle of Texas in the summer, you're an idiot, and why most people like to wear their straw hats and lighter colors, beiges and browns, because we will be crispy. Anyway. All right, based on this ABC News article, which, again, take it for a grain of salt. I don't trust these people for crap diddly do. There was a, quote, extreme fire behavior associated with the wildfire on Tuesday. As of right now, it is Thursday, y'all, just for a little bit of comparison. With wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour and flames as high as 20 feet, a spokesperson told the agency. Listen, Texas is very, very windy. If somebody, specifically an arsonist, wanted to start a fire and cause a lot of damage, the wind absolutely would freaking help. Listen, Texas, we are in the area previously known as the Dust Bowl. It's hot and it's dry here, and if people wanted to do a lot of damage, Mother Nature kind of helps them around here. So let's look at some more pictures of the wind bursts that you can find in Oklahoma. Now, this is definitely an average photo of a fire in Texas, okay? Listen, the sky just gets filled with dust, and the flames and the red ambers just make everything around you look like it's being burnt. Okay? Moving on. Let's go to the next video that this other guy, I think, would be friends because he summarizes it also pretty well.
Doesn't this situation in Texas remind anyone else of Maui or more recently Chile?
That's what I've been saying.
I don't know. You tell me. It just looks almost identical to those situations. Mm-hmm. Very strange stuff, to say the least. Now, I know that the Panhandle is known for, fires, and I know Texas is known for wildfires.
Yes, we are, I wouldn't say really known for it as much as, like, let's say California. California is definitely known for their wildfires. Texas, yeah, we've had some spot fires here and there, but, like, not to this extreme. This is a little much. Almost 1 million acres. That's a lot. Just to put that in context.
And stuff like that. But this just seems a little too weird. And it seems like another case of Mountain Dew. I will let you put 2 and 2 together on that. Mm-hmm. But it's just strange. The whole entire thing is very odd. And it is very reminiscent of Maui and more recently Chile. I mean, even look at this. Does this look natural to you? It doesn't to me. But who am I? I'm just a guy making videos and pointing out stuff and questioning things. I mean, Elon Musk tweeted this out 2 weeks prior to this happening. So
that could be a coincidence. I don't know.
I'm just questioning things. I will let you decide. Comment down below.
Okay, on the Elon Musk thing that he posted onto Twitter, you could argue that that was a pure coincidence. I'm not entirely sure Elon Musk has really anything to do with the world today. Is the dude mad sus and a little eccentric, slightly crazy, who is probably behind, a lot of different things and involved in many organizations, events, whatever, around the world? I mean, yeah, that's not that far of a stretch. The dude is literally... he kind of calls himself God on occasion. And you know what? It is blasphemous, and they will have their time in front of the all superior jury for those comments. But you know what? Speaking of comments, let's just let's look at the comment section over here. So you guys can kind of see it. But one of the very first comments over here says, Jesus, it's burned cars and buildings. They all look the same. It's a Panhandle fire. It happens every damn year. Y'all need to get sober. Yeah, that's a perfectly valid comment on this whole fire situation. To that, though, I would argue, yeah, just because things happen every single year doesn't mean that somebody with less than tasteful motives is behind it. I mean, the greatest trick you could ever possibly pull is inflict, coerce, magistrate, organize, behind the scenes, some kind of disaster, and then automatically just have, it blamed on Mother Nature, or just, it happens, so sorry. Like, that's a really great way to get away with a crime. If I was a criminal, I'd probably do that. Someone else commented, probably because they were all on fire. Also really true. Fires do burn things. But you know what? They could look the same because they were both started the same way. Okay? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is question it. Question it, because every single farmer, every single rancher that's gone on TikTok recently that I've seen, who's had to evacuate their cows and their horses and their farms, they've all said this, it's sus. Okay? And I will take the word of these farmers and ranchers up on the Panhandle and Amarillo 1 million times before I would ever trust CNN or ABC or MSNBC with their, hot take of the truth. which we all know they don't really do. Okay, this is another really interesting one that I would like to bring to light. Look up Amarillo trying to boycott smart cities. See, this goes back to Texas. This is basically our punishment. So if you guys are aware, there have been a lot of different state governments, federal governments, governments for other countries overseas that have all been trying to implement these quote-unquote smart cities, okay? They are supposed to make it easy and make everything accessible. Everything is supposed to be within, 5 minutes of you wherever you are. It's very dystopian. It's very futuristic. I really don't like it. And of course, like anything that's, quote unquote good for us is all orchestrated by the political elites. So, that being said, Amarillo, don't want that, okay? I don't really think any small town, America, city in the South really wants to do with any of that BS and nonsense. So it's just interesting, that they're up in flames after they openly have been protesting and boycotting the smart cities that the politicians are trying to implement. It's just weird, It's strange. Oh, I thought this comment was really interesting. It says, that's the tax to pay when Texans don't follow the federal government in Washington, D.C. They have satellite weapons to burn every land like Maui. Okay, listen, you might be like, oh, this is where I click off. This is where I roll my eyes. Listen, it is a proven fact that the United States government has all of this technology, okay? Every bit of technology that even 10 or 15 years ago was just, possible through the eyes of a sci-fi movie lens, they have right now, and they've been using it. But they've been using it on other people. They've been using it overseas. Innocent or guilty as they may have been, it's been over there. Now it's being used on our own soil. I think it should have been called into question when they were using it on people of other nations, because I really don't think America has really any business sticking their nose into freaking everything. But now that it's happening on American soil, I'm even more outraged, because I'm like, don't tread on me, get your paws off my crap, dude. Like, whatever though. I'm just a crazy 19 almost 20-year-old in Texas that's just looking at the suspicious correlations. Also, this user says, what's identical? It's so damn windy. That's not odd. We didn't have a winter. Although randomly today we're having 1 day winter. It's snowing in Amarillo now. Okay, breaking that down, absolutely we did have a winter. It got into the negatives back in December and in early January. It was freaking miserable. Let me just say, I hated every second of it. My horses were cold as crap, and they were running around like headless chickens. But I will say, all of a sudden now, like Texas though, this is totally a very Texas thing. We are known for our bipolar weather. Texas was 95 degrees the other day. I got sunburned in February. That's crazy right there. And then all of a sudden, today it's 37. Texas is known for bipolar weather. That's not really suspicious to me these days. But with everything else that's going on in our world and the weather-altering technology that we know our government has, I don't know. I just something don't sit right in my gut. It just doesn't. Anyway. Oh, I like this comment too. The trees aren't being touched. Okay, so the trees they're burnt on the sides, but I do find it really interesting that the things that have the most destruction are our farms, our agriculture properties, our ranches, and everything that would feed us. That's all getting destroyed. I don't know. You know what? I'm just going to leave it at that. Just leave you wondering. I know this was kind of giving you more questions and maybe having you question my sanity after this, but honestly, I don't really care. I am here to educate and inform, and if I don't fully understand something, at least give the knowledge to the people and let someone else make a decision for themselves. Just question it. Question everything. Don't trust our government. And absolutely do not trust the people who say that they know what's best for you. Like a very famous president said, the most terrifying words are, I am from the government, and I'm here to help. Stay safe, y'all.